as it starts to tighten through here and all the people start to cluster, and right about this time I'm getting caught up with everyone, and they're gonna make a sharp right-hand corner and then get me against the wall. When I first saw that the bull was right behind me, I didn't have much time to react because I had just tripped onto the pile with the people. And then as I closed my eyes, the bull was inside my hip before I knew it.
One piece of advice I would give to first-time runners that probably would have been great for Marcos at that time is, like, be careful at the dog legs, because that's where people fall down and they can trip you. So you've got to be prepared to take that corner at the proper speed, just like driving any vehicle. You know, you don't want to be going too fast so that you crash into the wall.
Marcus is fully recovered, but he still has the shirt he wore that day and the scar.
Why I bought it was the fake blood and the manufactured hole. You could tell people that you got gored by a bull and it would be a funny story. In reality, the irony is that 6 inches away, I was actually gored, and this is the hole that was produced, which in turn led to this.
I feel very fortunate that Marcus survived this. As a nurse, I know that had the gore gone 2 inches to the left and ruptured his kidney, the outcome could have been a lot worse.
I still, to this day, feel really lucky that Marcus was able to walk away from the situation and, you know, doesn't have any long-lasting effects from it.
Josh and I left the event with a stronger friendship and a few good stories to tell our children and friends.
It's feeding time at an Arkansas gator farm. And Jamie Bridges is literally up to his ankles in alligators. Tourists can hardly believe the way Jamie dances around the gators as he hand feeds them raw chicken. But he's about to make a misstep that'll turn him into the main course.
As he reached down, the gator that he was standing over the top of flipped up and grabbed him on the arm.
The Arkansas Alligator Farm is a popular tourist attraction near Little Rock that's more than 100 years old. For years, Jack Bridges ran it with his sons, Jerry, Joe, and Jamie. And of the three, it was Jamie who got along best with the gators.
Probably Jamie had the most interest of all of them. The middle son, the younger son were a little fearful of him at first. And Jamie never was fearful of him.
They eat deer, dogs, ducks, fish, turtles, snakes, beavers, whatever. They would eat anything.
On a sweltering summer day, Jamie prepares to feed the gators as tourists crowd round the pen.
When they bite down on something too big to swallow, they do the death row. They spin. Like you spin on land or in the water, and they rip it off.
On hot days like this, cold-blooded animals like gators are most active and at their most dangerous.
If I fell off in here right now, 5 or 6 of them would grab me and start spinning.
Jamie's assistant cautiously stays on the wooden platform and feeds gators with a device called a grabber.
That's this metal deal like you pick up trash on. We use it to feed the alligators because you've got a little distance between you and him then.
But Jamie doesn't use a grabber. He climbs right into the pen with both hands full of raw chicken.
He was hopping around with the gators chomping at his heels.
Chuck Aylward and his family are among the tourists. He captures the scene on camera.
He would hold a piece of chicken up above the alligator's head and entice it to open its mouth and reach up, and then with the other hand throw a second piece into its mouth.
The gators follow Jamie like pet pooches at dinner time. At one point, he has half a dozen of them tailing him.
It seemed a little crazy, but he seemed to be good at what he was doing.
But alligators are good at what they do, too.
Alligators are fabulous hunters, and they've been very successful for millions of years.
Daphne Suarez studies the neurology of alligators at the University of Maryland.
They have good vision, they have good hearing, they have very good sense of smell. Their sensory systems in general are very well tuned to the environment. All over their faces, there are these little black dots.
The bumps in their snouts are called pressure domes, which help gators zero in on their prey.
And what they do is they give the alligator an opportunity to sense water ripples. So they sense water movement, basically. They can sense prey, and they will attack things that make ripples. They will be sort of analogous to whiskers on a cat.
And as the gators in the food pen show, they can also jump to snag their dinner.
If you think about it, I mean, it's a very effective way to actually get an animal down, because if you think about it, they're low on the ground creatures, so it's very effective to get, even if you jump and you bite, you know, to get the animal down on the ground. And so crocodilians in general will bite and clamp and roll to use torque to actually rip meat out of prey.
Jamie makes a tiny mistake. A piece of chicken has fallen to the ground. In the crowd, 10-year-old Seth Aylward witnesses what happens next.
There's these two alligators right by the stage, kind of just waiting for the guy to give him some chicken. I think what happened was he was reaching for a piece of meat.
But it's not chicken the gators bite into. It's Jamie's arm.
The alligator kind of did like a backflip.
Now the gators got him in a death roll, and the hungry herd smells blood. Is there any way out?
He dropped his guard just for a brief second. He's just caught off guard.
Jamie's brother Jerry Bridges is nearby. He knows Jamie's in big trouble.
You're not going to open an alligator's mouth once it comes down. You're just going to have to rip through it.
Alligators have the most powerful bite ever measured in the animal kingdom, 3,000 pounds per square inch. While the front of a gator's snout has only a few small muscles, the jowl area is packed with webs of thick, powerful muscles. So the further back in its jaws, the more forceful the bite. Luckily for Jamie, the gator doesn't have him in the back of its mouth.
He was fortunate that he didn't have it at the back of the alligator's mouth, that it was more at the front. He was just able to just rip his arm through.
Right here, Jamie does the unimaginable. He simply tears his arm free. But the gator isn't giving up.
If he would have fallen down, there could have possibly been 4, 5, 6 alligators on him.
Incredibly, Jamie tries to go on with the show. Then he realizes he'd better get help. He goes right by 12-year-old Elena Aylward.
You could see the blood, and there's a path of blood where he went, and it was scary.
I'll be right back.
Jamie's dad, Jack Bridges, knows instantly Jamie needs medical attention.
Well, he was turning white. I said, Jamie, lift your legs up. I said, the blood's leaving your head. I said, you're getting ready to go into shock. And so he did, and I said, Jerry, you run him on down to the emergency room.
Remarkably, when Jamie gets to the ER, x-rays reveal no broken bones. His wounds require 36 stitches, and although gator bites are notorious for causing infections, he heals up just fine.
When it first bit my arm, it was shock. I couldn't believe it. I was mad at myself because I let my guard down. And I thought, I've got to get him off before he does a death row. So I lifted my arm, lifted him up, and tried to grab him before he could do the death row. He started doing the death row, and I just ripped it out. And these gashes were at least ½ an inch wide, about ½ inch deep. I really thought, man, when they sew this up, it's not going to look very good ever.
It wasn't until he looked at the video weeks later that Jamie realized a second gator almost got him.
And it scared me when I saw how close that other one came to my arm. And it upset my wife a little bit, because we know after seeing the video, it could have been a lot worse than it was. If the other one that came out of the water while the one had my left arm would have gotten my right arm, there's another one behind him would have gotten my leg, it could have been in my life. I know that.